And as for rules, we didn't carry military manuals around with us. We were out on the veldt, fighting the Boer, the way he fought us. I'll tell you what rule we applied, sir. We applied Rule 303. We caught them, and we shot them under Rule 303.
A letter from Trooper Jack Siddle to the Kyneton Observer, 20th of October 1900. Letter from Trooper Siddle, Trooper J. Siddle of Barfold, who is serving in South Africa with the Australian Imperial Regiment and who was recently captured at Elands River but has since been released by the Boers and has rejoined his regiment, writes from Warmbad on the 29th of August as follows. Quote, I'm still in the best of health. This is the first letter I have written since we left Bulawayo. We've been under fire several times now and so far I've come out okay. We're now camped at Warmbad, about 70 or 80 miles north of Pretoria. We were in touch with Jack the Boer several times on the way up, but as soon as the artillery got on to them, they made tracks for safer places. On Friday we advanced on Boers under Canadian artillery fire and drove them off a kopje, the only casualty being one Queensland bushie having a flesh wound in his thigh. 6 Victorians were killed at Rustenburg some time back and about 12 wounded. W. Clark's helmet was shot through, but he was unhurt. Colonel Nicholson has now the command of the Australian Bushmen, and we are attached to General Baden-Powell's command. I believe we'll be moving off early tomorrow. Writing from Pinar River railway station on September the 5th, Trooper Siddle continues. Since I last wrote, we have been in another bit of a scrap, and I was among the missing for a couple of days. I thought I had better drop a line, more so when Norman Jarrett wrote home yesterday and said I was still unaccounted for. We went out on Friday last with General Plumer's command as a flying column to patrol hills along Elands River to the east of our present position. On Friday evening we got out among the Boer lagers, took several prisoners, about 1,000 head of cattle, 20 wagons and a large number of women and children. Next day we moved camp about 8 miles near Jack the Boer and camped for the night. Several hundred more cattle, some wagons and provisions being brought in during the day. On Sunday morning we started out on patrol, 80 strong. 40 Victorians, the rest New South Welshmen and Queenslanders. The Queenslanders were in advance guard. We came upon a Boer lager, and the advance guard gave chase to a couple of the enemy and led us into an ambush of about 150 Boers. The officers gave no orders that we heard, so we all made back for cover. On the way back, my horse stumbled in a deeper badger hole and rolled right over. When he got on his feet, he was shot in the hind leg, which made him clear away at a canter. I got into a donga and doubled back along it for about 50 yards, bullets falling fast and thick. When I got a bit of cover, I turned round and saw H. Stevens, my chum since we left Langwarrin, coming along on foot also, so I waited for him. By the time he got up, the rest of us were out of sight. We got into a well-covered spot, the Boers still pouring the bullets on our position, but luckily for us, none of them did any harm. We stopped there all day, the enemy hanging about, but too frightened to come any nearer to us than their cover would allow. After sunset, we made tracks from Donga, and being very stiff and cramped, we only went a few miles and slept for the night. We pushed on next day only to find our Sunday camp abandoned, and then for several miles to our next camp, which we reached about sunset on Monday, just arriving there in time to see the dust of our column making for Pinar River. Being a bit off colour for want of tucker and sore underfoot, we made up our minds to stay overnight. Next day we reached Pinar River, and our troubles as far as Tucker was concerned were soon over. Our regiment in the meantime had left again for Warmbad, where the Boers are getting troublesome again, taking our blankets, overcoats and saddles with them. It's very probable that we will be sent on by train to join them in a day or so. From Sunday's engagements we are still 2 men short, while the New South Welshmen have 4 missing. There were 2 Victorians wounded, one in the forearm and the other shot through the knee. Also 1 Queenslander seriously wounded. Kyneton today, and this is the magnificent Kyneton Town Hall. Why are you here, you may be asking? Well, I believe in the Town Hall is a plaque to the local men who served in the Anglo-Boer War. So the doors are all closed. Let's go and see what happens. Maybe they don't want any riffraff coming in. That one is locked. Well, this one is locked. Oh no, man. Alright, we'll go around to the side. Hi, how are you? I run a small YouTube channel on the Boer War, and I believe at the Town Hall there's a plaque to some of the local men that served in the Boer War. When is the main building open, or is it open to the public?
No, it's not, but just one moment, I'll see if I can get on there.
Oh, thank you. Fantastic, isn't it? Oh, hi Adrian. Sorry to bother you. I'm running a little YouTube channel and we're doing the Boer War.
Yeah.
Now on the monuments of Victoria there's mention of a plaque in the Town Hall regarding men that served in the Boer War.
There's a large sort of memorial piece. You want to come around?
Can we have a look? Fantastic.
What was your name?
Sorry?
What was your name?
Cherry. Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Great.
Follow me.
We've all got our hobbies.
So did you just want to see it at the moment?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
are you planning to film?
No. Oh well, I will film it if that's. I think. Look at this. Oh, this is fantastic. It's big, isn't it? That's magnificent. Looks like. Wow. No, this will be fine. Oh, look, and it's got the Kimberley, Ladysmith, Modder River. Those are the battles. Paardeberg is where the Boers were captured. Mafeking was the siege, so was Ladysmith. Wow. Colesberg was a battle. That's fantastic. And that would be First World War, I take it. Yeah, wow. But
The inside's here.
alright, well I won't take up any more time. That is magnificent though. It almost looks like marble, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful place.
I've got a book that a local author compiled, which are letters from these men back to, some of them to the Kyneton newspapers of the time. Some of them would be the family, and the family bring it along to the paper and they publish it. So those names would be in my book. That fella, or those two may be casualties, Thornton and Dalston. All right, Adrian, took up enough time. Thank you.
Absolutely good, Joe.
You have a good day.
If you need a bit more time with it as well, like just cross the line
Right.
from there.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Word from Private Norman Jarrett. Private Norman Jarrett, the third son of Mr. and Mrs. E. Jarrett of Oakdean, Kyneton. The Kyneton Guardian, the 20th of October 1900. The following extracts from his letter will be of interest to his friends in the district. Quote, 30 miles north of Pretoria we came in yesterday after some severe scraps. My horse came down in a charge on a Boer lager and a thorn went right through my hand. Some of our fellows ran into an ambush and 4 of them, including Jack Siddle, are missing, but of course may turn up at any time. I've been up to the hospital today and saw a few of our boys who were wounded, one shot through the arm and another through the knee. In the last fight we had, 4 days of it, we captured 2,000 head of cattle, 50 wagons, flour, bread, condensed milk, fowls, pigs, etc., and about 50 Dutch women who were being sent to Pretoria. I had a narrow squeak of being shot lots of times the last 4 days, bullets singing all round. I struck a match to light my pipe on patrol the night we caught the cattle, which brought a shower of bullets on me. I don't think we will be here much longer, as we will not have any horses left. We got a lot of remounts about 10 days ago. Some are dead and the rest ruined already. The work has been terribly hard for them. Now and again they drop dead from exhaustion. Others get wounded and shot. We have only about 110 men fit for duty out of 250 who left Victoria. Pretoria, I've received 9 letters the last few days, also cuttings out of The Guardian. I'm in splendid health, having not had 10 minutes sickness since I left the boat. I'm enjoying myself very well, but have no duties at present and get plenty to eat, so we'll put on flesh again. Things are very dear in Pretoria, yet butter and jam cannot be bought. Bad cigarettes, 6 shillings a packet. We've had a good dose of fighting the last fortnight. Being in amongst the bullets is not what it is cracked up to be. I came into Pretoria 3 days ago and stayed there until yesterday, but am now in the rest camp, 2 miles out with our fellows who were left behind at Eland's River. They had a terrible time. 2,500 shells fired on them in 2 days, not including pom-poms. They were there 13 days before Kitchener relieved them, buried in the ground like rabbits. Corporal Morton was killed there and Trooper Bird had his leg shot off. Australians have a splendid name in Pretoria. The Boers also have a great respect for us. They say we travel too quickly for them. We call the Imperial Yeomanry De Wet's own, as he says he can catch them whenever he likes. The column under Colonel Plumer is still in Warmbad, but in all probability they will be sent here for a well-earned rest. It is reported that 2 of our fellows who were missing have turned up again. I hope it is true. Jack Siddle came in 2 days after to Penaspoort. He lived on Kaffir corn while he was away. He and his mate had their arms packed on a mule. There is some talk of us being mobilised here now, but I hardly think it is true, as we have been doing too good work lately, and Colonel Plumer will not let us go yet. Lord Roberts is going home next month and leaving Lord Kitchener, Chief in Command. He will soon end the war. We used to loot the houses and burn them when Baden-Powell was in command. That is why they dislike us. Pretoria, 18th of September. The Major has been round to us this morning for subscriptions to put up headstones over our dead comrades. I was in Pretoria yesterday and saw Captain Eric Neal. He is on the ASC. He's been out to the camp several times and has altered wonderfully since staying at the Oakdean. Fighting has knocked all nonsense out of him. Captain McKerney says he thinks he's going to China after this is over. Everyone is heartily sick of the war, including the Pretoria people. Things are looking up there already. New shops opening every day. One dentist here is a New Zealander, a very nice fellow. He was commandeered by the Boers and put on the ambulance, but he sneaked away from them and got to his practice. His wife was also a dentist and speaks 5 languages. When I was in the flying column after De Wet, missed him as usual, I got thin, as we only got 2 biscuits a day. De Wet is the only man that gives us any trouble now. All Boers in arms are being shot at sight. That ought to settle it quickly. My hand is nearly right now. I want to get to Johannesburg, but it's hard to get through, as the Boers often shell the trains and drive them back. Our 1st and 2nd contingents are up with General Buller at Barberton now. There are some beautiful buildings in Pretoria. The Hall of Justice, which is the hospital now, is a splendid building. 900 patients came in while we were there. The Dutch, however, hate us all right. They fired 3 shots at some of the boys as they were galloping through the laager.